Okay, Madison, I'm just going to show you how to kind of like pixelate a image real quick. This is just a headshot that I'm working on for work, but you'll kind of get the idea. So once you cut out your main image you want of your designer, the background's gone and, all those details are kind of out. You'll just go up to, oops, excuse me, make sure you click on the selection. You'll just go up to filter and you're going to go to camera raw filter. It's like an additional like more advanced like Lightroom plugin for Photoshop than actual Lightroom, which then makes it like pretty easy to add grain and other effects all in one panel. Um, so I know that you were working with black and white, so you could even do all your black and white color settings within the camera raw filter itself. So let's see, you would do, yes, you would drop the saturation pretty much all the way down and then go back up to light and adjust the contrast, because I think one of the things that we talked about is like some of the images that you have or had were black and white, but they just didn't match that like super high contrast that the magazine kind of cutouts that you had, I think, on your second spread. So this would be like a good place to adjust that and really make like the blacks really black and the lights really light. That way you could kind of bring that really stark contrast. So you could do that with the contrast setting or exposure. They both kind of do the same. And you could even adjust specifically the highlights and shadows. So you still, like for his hair, for example, like I still kind of want to show that. So I don't want to go too dark, but dark enough where it kind of brings that contrast of the face versus the other darker features like his suit and darker beard and eyebrows and such. And you could do that with the whites as well. Like if you want to add more to the white of his face or where the light is hitting his face as well as his teeth or his shirt and things like that within your own image too. And you could, again, adjust the kind of blacks of the image in this lighting panel once you drop the saturation down. And then to add that grain effect, you just go to effects and you can kind of mess around with a couple of these settings. So what texture means is that it basically like duplicates all the pixels together and creates like a more high definition. You could kind of see like at 100% versus 0, like it's a little bit more blurry, but now it's like super high def. And it goes the opposite way too if you want to like blur out certain things, but usually you want to bring your texture up just a little bit. And then there's this grain slide bar or this grain setting that you can use to add that. And you could also adjust the size of the pixels. So now we could even see, that grain effect being really applied, which I think would be a good direction for you to go in. And you could also apply like the roughness. So we don't want to get too rough because then we run into the problem that you were already having by the like pixelation being like more prominent than the image. So you want to keep that a little bit more down, especially if you're using the size of the grain a little bit more. So adjust this as you will to kind of best match your kind of magazine photos. And you could always go back to these settings after you add the grain if you want to adjust anything. I actually might make the shadows a little darker since the grain kind of automatically adds a little overall lighter effect to your images. And that's pretty much it. And you just hit OK, and then it all duplicates like that. So the camera raw filter is really kind of that like all-in-one, all-encompassing filter editor within Photoshop. It just kind of makes it easier because all those settings that I just walked through would be normally found in like different places in Photoshop. So it's kind of nice that the camera raw filter is a feature where it's kind of all in one easy place. So hopefully that helps. I'm sure it will definitely kind of get the images that you want to match a little bit more closely to those magazine photos, and I'm curious to see, how that translates into the version that you'll show tomorrow for class. Thanks.